Good morning, everyone. Here's a quick update on the 67 Buick Special, my personal car we're trying to get done here. As you can see, we've got the transmission out of the car. The tail shaft housing is off. I'll tell you about that in a second. And we've got the hood off the car over here, sanded, getting ready for some paint on there. So anyway, got a little bit of work done, not as much as I wanted. Ended up having to work on some boats Friday and Saturday. However, I want to show you, we talked about the transmission seal was leaking. Well, it turned out to be something a little bit different than that. So what we have here is this is the existing tail shaft housing that came off of the transmission that was in the car. And this area right here, this is where your speedometer pickup goes. So it fits in the hole just like this. And you see here there's an O-ring, and that O-ring looks okay, but it was just sopping wet all around through here, and you can see that this is definitely where it's leaking. So I'm going to find an O-ring that might be a little bit bigger and will seal a little bit better. And this plastic gear, this goes in, and that's what actually spins and drives the cable for the speedometer. While I had that, while I was working on the transmission down there, I decided to go ahead and change the rear seal. Normally there's a seal that goes here, and this is where your drive shaft comes in and meets your transmission. That seal is very important. You can see here, this is the one I took out, which I damaged when I took out, but this seal would have fit right in there. And it was worn. I could see that it was leaking as well. However, unfortunately, when I was taking it out, I broke it, and which it really stinks. I was only using what a lot of people call a booger picker. Normally you can get in here with a tool like this and you can twist and pop it right out. But just with one hand, unfortunately, it was very weak right there, and without much force, I actually broke the housing. So Saturday, I had to find another one. Luckily, my friend Brian Nemo and his friend Chris Jones hooked me up with a guy down in Collinsville, Virginia, a man by the name of Barry Young, who owns Barry Young Engines. And luckily, he had a tail shaft housing for the transmission, and this is what they call a short style. A lot of GM transmissions have a longer tail shaft housing, but this is the short one. And as you can see, I've already installed a brand new seal here, so that'll keep any leaks from happening there. And then you see it's got the same spot here where the speedo pickup will go. So let me show you how that fits on the car. It's back over here on the transmission. This is found out this is a turbo 350 transmission, also known as a TH 350. Very common through a lot of muscle cars that GM made for, I think it started in the 60s and went through the 70s. Anyway, your tail shaft housing, pretty simple. 4 bolts. You can see here, this gear is the one that matches with the plastic gear we were talking about earlier. That's what drives your speedometer and drives that cable. So basically, this just fits right up on there. 4 bolts, and the tail shaft housing is back on with a new seal. Now, since I've already got it out of the car, I want to make sure everything is sealed up on this transmission, so I went ahead and pulled the front seal out as well. We can get in here and look. This is the existing seal that was here, and it actually looked okay. It wasn't in bad shape, although I tore it to pieces when I removed it. But I've got a brand new seal here ready to go in. I would put it in for you, but it takes 2 hands. I can't hold a camera and do that at the same time. But this thing's kind of dirty. I'm going to clean it up today, get that seal on there. And I've also got a brand new pan gasket to go on the, underneath of here, there's actually a pan very similar to an oil pan on an engine, but there's a transmission pan gasket we'll put in there. I'll clean this thing up, get the transmission back in it today. And I want to drive the car around today and most of the week to make sure it's roadworthy for the trip to Pigeon Forge this Saturday. So, get all the mechanical done today, get the transmission sealed, and hopefully that means the rest of the week I can just spend every night painting the car and getting it ready to rock. Y'all have a great Monday.